Can start.
Recording in progress.
All right. So we had completed chapter 1 of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita last time. So we are going to start with chapter 2. So before we start chapter 2, let me give you a small synopsis of what happened in chapter 1. Now Arjuna is standing over there in the middle of the battlefield, and in front of him is Shri Krishna. Now Shri Krishna is giving him an answer in the second chapter. But in the first one, Arjuna is showing all the doubts possible in the world. It's a very common tendency of every human being. Suppose you are given some responsibility, the first thing that you will say is, no, I can't do it. And the number of reasons that a person can give can be as silly and stupid as Arjuna is giving. He is saying what will happen to the women, what will happen to the children, what will happen to the race if I am fighting with my own kith and kin. I will go to hell. He says it. If I fight my brothers and everybody over here, I will go to hell. What am I supposed to do? So it's a fight. It's a war. And in a war situation, there is no brother, sister or anybody like that. Two people may be fighting from either side. One is an enemy and one is the person who is fighting with. So naturally both of them have to fight with each other. At that time emotion should not be brought into the picture. But Arjuna is feeling all the emotions possible in the world. And naturally, because he is feeling all the emotions in the world, he is going to show that weakness which is there within every human being. How can I do it? This is not possible. Now, in comparison to him, how are we placed? Any responsibility that comes our way, the first thing is, I don't know how this is. So the answer to everything is, I don't know. I don't know how this is done. I am not capable. I am incapable. These incapabilities are the things which everybody talks about. It is impossible for me to do any task that is given by any person, let us say even your boss, or for that matter by anybody. How do we always react to it? A responsibility is a responsibility. But if I have to say that I don't know how it is done, I have never done this before, this is impossible for me to do, all these talks are just saying that you are showing your inability or you don't want to do. And in current yuga, it is very common. In this yuga, which is called the Kali Yuga, it is extremely common trait for any and every human being. The moment some object is put in front of them, they will say, I don't know. I have never done this. I am not capable. These are the answers which are given. Now, if I assume that this is a very serious task which you have to perform, again, your mind is coming up with so many reasons for not doing it. And this could be impossible reasons. Basically, you are only going to say, some weird and wild story you will give saying that, I can't do this, because of that. And sometimes we put spirituality into the picture. Sometimes we put God into the picture. Sometimes we say, this is the devil is doing this. Sometimes we say all kinds of things. This is exactly how human beings react. We put a lot of stuff in the middle, and on top of it, we give reasoning for everything. See, if you are a kid, if you are a child, and if you give reasons, it is understandable. But if you are a grown-up human being, I think that is wrong. So similarly, in these circumstances, Arjuna has given some very impossible reasons why he cannot fight. The first reason is these are my relatives. These are my kith and kin. They are related to me, I can't kill them. Second thing he says, these are my teachers. So there are teachers, there are grandsires, grandfathers and everybody, all kinds of relatives are there, friends and everybody, like literally you're fighting with your own people. And naturally for him to give this reason is correct, because he feels like a human being. And then the next thing that he says is, if I were to kill them, I will have to live in sin. Got it? It is sinful to kill someone. This is there in every scripture. You cannot kill another person. But this is war. And in a war, where is the kith and kin? It is only an enemy and you. That's it. But he doesn't understand that. He believes they are his relatives. Then he says, if I were to kill them, what are their wives going to do? What are their children going to do? See, in war there are casualties, isn't it? A lot of people die. And when a lot of people die, what happens to their wives and children and the properties and stuff like that? Have you not seen the destruction that is there in the world today going on? There are countries at war, and you will find that the women folks and the children are literally on the road. They don't know where to go. They are either in a shelter or some such place. So Arjuna is saying, if this happens, then the women go the wrong way. You got the point? He is trying to give weird reasons. He's right from his point of view. And he has asked these questions. He is very much in grief. He says, how can I do this kind of a heinous sin, an act? And so he has put down his arms and he says, I am not going to fight. So this is the synopsis of the last chapter. So now we are going to start the new one. We are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, verse 1 onwards. Sanjaya said, Shri Krishna then addressed the following words to Arjuna, who was, as mentioned before, overwhelmed with pity, whose eyes were filled with tears and agitated, and who was full of sorrow. Shri Bhagwan said, Arjuna, how has this delusion overtaken you at this odd hour? It is shunned by noble souls, neither will it bring heaven nor fame to you. Yield not to unmanliness. Arjuna, this does not become you. Shaking off this base faint-heartedness, stand up, O scorcher of enemies. So here Shri Krishna is telling Arjuna, at this precise moment when we are in the middle of the war, things are happening, people are out to kill each other literally. You are just showing how weak you are in your life. Why are you like this? What is the need for you to be like this? And what is this? Why are you crying? You should not be crying, isn't it? You should not be feeling sad for people. Now still the act is not yet performed. See, the act is still not performed. Nobody is killed. This is at the beginning of the war, and here the faint-heartedness of a person is visible. He starts crying and he behaves as if, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? So Sri Krishna is telling him, isn't this a delusion that has come to you? Are you not deluded? This is Maya working for you. And the Maya is so strong that you are getting deluded by everything around you. Alright? And the great people in this world don't behave like this. See, understand one thing. When you are in the middle of a very important decision making, you can't run away from that place and say, oh, I don't want to decide. It's a matter of life and death. This is not a small place, isn't it? This is not a small thing, Should I buy this yellow color, should I buy a vanilla ice cream or should I buy some other? That is not a decision we are asking for. It's a major life and death situation. See, if you go to a store and say, okay, I don't want to buy the vanilla and I want to buy a chocolate, it's okay, understandable. That is a decision, no doubt about it. But that decision is so minor. This is a major decision. Big people will never run away from this kind of a decision, especially those who want to be a leader. The leader amongst men, leader amongst people. They don't do this kind of a thing. And what are you doing? And why are you doing this? So, you are anyway not going to be looked upon as somebody to follow, isn't it? So, understand one thing. You are setting an example to others. A leader's way of acting, the way he behaves in the world, is emulated by people in this world, isn't it? Say in your case, now all of you are women, you know your mothers, some of your mothers. If you are going to behave in a manner which gets emulated by your child, what kind of leadership have you shown that child? And that is the reason why, as a mother, you are the first person to set an example. See, many a times nowadays it so happens that the children are learning in school and college, or maybe in school, and they are doing very advanced level of some subject. The mother will say, I don't know. If the child comes with a homework and she says, I don't know what this is, do you know what is the example you are setting? The child will immediately think, my mother doesn't know anything. Isn't the child going to say like this? So it is important to set an example. No, we will find it out. We will find out the answers. The answers are important. And you have to give those answers. Right? You should never say that I will later on give you or something like that. You are in the middle of a battlefield, correct? And your child is asking you something. Is it not important to give the answer there and then? Your child is asking some say something, like the child is sitting in front and he's saying, Mom, this ice cream, this strawberry or some red color ice cream is there. How do you get the color? The mother can't say, oh, they are using dyes. Oh, really? The child doesn't understand dyes also. He says, what do you mean by dyes? The mother has to show. Even the father, of course. But here, always the child goes to the mother first. So mother has to show. So here, who is the mother? Shri Krishna is the mother. Understand? And who is this child who is asking some silly question? Arjuna. Arjuna is behaving like, oh, no, I don't want to go into that room. I don't want to be. You see the whole point of it all? He is really scared of taking a call. So he says, it is not going to give you fame nor heaven also. Yield not to unmanliness. A man is supposed to be daring. Okay? So suppose, now many a times you will find that there is a lizard in the house or there is a small rat in the house. Those who are weak people, they will climb on top and they say, oh my God, there is a lizard over there. But the man of the house is supposed to remove it out. Now if he starts behaving like this, oh my God, there is a lizard over here. Can you imagine this scene? When the man of the house behaves like this. In our households today, this is exactly the situation we have come to pass. Imagine a person. Now you are living in a household. There is a very simple thing which has happened. Okay? That simple thing is one of the fuse is blown of something. Now you go and tell the man of the house, so-called man of the house, can you replace that bulb or replace the fuse? He'll look into his phone and he'll say, we'll call an electrician. We will call an electrician, let him come That electrician, you know how difficult it is to find. Even if all those apps that are there, those fellows are going to come tomorrow or day after, and now Saturday, Sunday, they are holiday. Then they'll say, I'll come on Monday. So you are going to live in the darkness, or you are going to live like that. Your toilet is choking and you'll say, we'll call the plumber. Sir, go and do something. You expect the man of the house to go and solve the problem. Right or wrong? But this person is behaving in a very unmanly manner. Why should I do it? I don't know about it. That is not a done thing. So this is exactly how a human being behaves. I had two examples in front of me. Okay, one uncle of mine, he was an electrician. He was in charge of the electrical department in the entire Bombay Municipal Corporation, that is the Mumbai municipality. This person was the super boss there. And he will not even replace anything in any place. He will say, I will not do this. Even a bulb will not be replaced by him. And another one was in charge of air conditioning department. At least you should know now what is wrong with the air conditioner. This person will not even look at it. This is not the way to behave. So understand this. This is called unmanliness. Now, especially in a war. If you were to say, I don't know, those fellows have a lot of weapons, I can't fight the war, I can't do this. Most of the people who go that AWOL, they call it, run away from the battlefield. These fellows they are court-martialed. You know what a court-martial is in the army and all that, no? You can't run away from a situation. There the enemy is standing over there to fight with you, and you are showing your weakness. I can't fight, I can't do this, I can't do that. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, don't show your unmanliness. You are to having weapons. Look at me, I don't even have one weapon with me. By the way, you cannot understand that Shri Krishna is with all his weapons because they are all hidden. You know that, no? Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, everything is with him. But he is behaving like an ordinary man over there. He has already told he is not going to fight. To Duryodhana, I am just going to be a charioteer. So here he says, what has become of you? Why are you behaving like this? Don't behave like this. Face life. Face the situations. Find answers. A leader's job is to find answers, not to raise questions, okay? That is why the big bosses that are there, why does a person who is downline go to a big boss? Because the big boss gives answers, correct? But if the big boss is also like this, like that kind of a person, what is going to happen? Think about it. Here the answer is, you expect that person to give some answer. And the boss says, I don't have any answers. That is not a done thing. So he says, it does not become of you. You are supposed to be a great Dhanurdhar. You have won so many medals. Remember, Arjuna has won those medals. Do you remember the backstory? You see, when he was with his master, he is the only person who could hit the eye of the bird. You got the point? He has fought with so many demons when they were on that Vanvas, right? He has done so many things. He has gone to the Himalayas, got those weapons also. Just imagine, you are going to the countries to buy the best of the weapon, the bestest we should say. He's gone to all these big countries. Okay, I want this tank, I want this bazooka, I want this aeroplane. And like that, he went to Shiva, Shivji in the Himalayas and told him, I want the best weapon. And Shivji was very kind enough to offer him, okay, take this, go. And here you have the best of the weapons and you are literally ready for the fight. But you are saying, I don't want to fight. Shaking of this faint-heartedness, stand up, O scorcher of enemies. You remember what he has done? He has sat down at the back of that chariot. मैं नहीं करूँगा. Imagine that fellow talking like this. I am not going to do anything. I don't want to do this. I mean, just imagine. How can such a great warrior behave like this? You know, these guys, all the Pandavas, except for Nakul and Sahadev, the rest of them were quite manly, isn't it? They had good muscles, they had good things, they were very, very good warriors. And you imagine, the greatest of the warrior is going to sit in the corner over there and cry, I don't want to fight, I don't want to fight, I don't want to look into this world also. Think like that. And there Krishna is saying, what is this? Why are you doing like this? So Arjuna says, next verse number 4. How, Krishna, shall I fight Bhishma and Drona with arrows in the battlefield? They are worthy of the deepest reverences, O destroyer of foes. It is better to live on alms in this world by not slaying these noble elders, because even after killing them, we shall after all enjoy only blood-stained pleasures in the form of wealth and sense enjoyments. The main story is completely forgotten by this fellow. Imagine, when the situation arises, do you know what is the greatest thing that happens in your life? You know what happens? Something that is called blackmail. You have yourself fallen to the blackmail many times in your life. How can you talk to your father like this? He's your father. Now you are trying to answer your father something, and your mother will poke her nose in the middle and say, he is your father, you cannot talk to him like this. It has happened hundreds of times. Same thing, Pati Parmeshwar. You can't raise your voice on him. This is not what I have taught you. You have been taught all these great, great things in life. What is this you are fighting with him? Give him some respect. We are told these things. We are supposed to respect the elderly people. We are supposed to behave in a very nice manner with them. They may be doing whatever they want. They are misbehaving. All the oldies and all these people, they may be calling you names, and they have called you all the dirtiest of the names also. Especially men, they don't have control over what they speak. So many a times they use 4-letter words, this, that, everything possible in the world. They will call you by whatever dirty names possible. And I don't know whether you have noticed this. All the bad words are in mother's name. Have you noticed it? It is nothing to do with the father. All the bad words are supposed to be, the woman is bad. So all the bad words are also women's bad words, and they will say this, but you are not supposed to open your mouth, you are not even supposed to fight back, you are not supposed to say a single word. They are allowed to do like that. This is our story. And what does the great scriptures tell us? You should always honor the elderly people, you should be nice to them, you have to behave in this manner. Those fellows have gone and even done the heinous and the dirtiest of the acts, and yet you are not supposed to utter a word. There are so many cases in India where the mother will come in the middle and tell the daughter, don't say anything. Even if the father has gone and raped the child. You know this? हमारी इज्जत का सवाल है. Do you know our society, they are going to laugh at us because if we go and do this. But my dear, this is not a done thing. What he has done is wrong. He should be in jail for doing that. That she will never say. Cover the ass. Sorry for the language. But understand this. This is not exactly what Arjuna is talking about. He is like this mother who is taking the side of the father. So here is this man who is saying, how can I fight Dronacharya, Bhishma Pitama and all these old elderly people? They are the people who are watching pornography. When Draupadi was being disrobed, these are the same idiots who are sitting and watching it. He might be a great person, might be in the past. But when he is a part and parcel of something wrong, that person is wrong. See, understand one thing. It is called accessory to crime. Right? There is a crime happening and you are just watching and doing nothing about it. And here is Arjuna trying to take their sides, saying that how can I fight Bhishma and Dronacharya? With arrows in the battlefield, those fellows should be crushed to death. They should have been given already a guillotine or something like that. But no, here the answer is, how can I fight with these people? This is what people get away with. If we fall and succumb to these circumstances, then the whole world is going to trample and go away. Don't fall for it. If that person is in the wrong, that person is in the wrong. Your job is to fight. Your job is to raise your issues. And your job is to ensure that that person doesn't do those kind of things. And here Arjuna is behaving like a complete buffoon. He's saying, what is going to happen to me? I will go to hell. These people have to be revered. They are great people. I don't mind going out and begging in the streets also. But saying something to these elder people or fighting with them is not a good thing. And if I were to kill them, how will I enjoy that same kingdom? The same money and the power and the fame. How can I do that? Think about it. Here is a situation. Those people have been staying in that land for donkey's years, including the 14 years of, when these people had gone to Aranya. They are staying in that place. And before that also, isn't it? They have usurped the throne. They have taken away their own kingdom. Everything is taken away from the Pandavas. They have been told to get out in the streets, go beg. They have gone to the jungles. And last year was the Agyatwas, where they stayed incognito for one whole year. One became a cook. One became a person who looks after the stables. One became a dancer. I mean, just imagine behaving like a woman and all those kind of things. And on top of it, when the war is going on, this person is, look at what this person is saying. Maybe he has got the disease of what is happening in the world today. He, she, it, thou, them and all those things. Arjuna must have got that disease, I think. Because he started behaving exactly like that. He's asking, where is the toilet? Should I go to the male toilet or the female toilet? You understand this kind of nonsense that goes on in the world? He's behaving exactly like that. And he says over here, after killing all these people, where am I supposed to go? So, we do not even know what is preferable to us, to fight or not to fight. Nor do we know whether we should win or whether they will conquer us. Those very sons of Dhritarashtra, killing whom we do not even wish to live, stand in the enemy ranks. Here is one of the greatest dilemma of all times. Do you know what this dilemma is called? This dilemma is called uncertainty of life. How many times have you gone to this uncertainty of life? Every day the same story is happening in your life. You are so uncertain about everything. The uncertainty is like a disease, It keeps on happening all the time. You don't know. As if you know the future. You don't know the future at all. Who knows the future? Nobody knows the future. And here, Arjuna is predicting the future. He is saying tomorrow this will happen. In the previous chapter, he also, has he not mentioned the women will go out in the streets and the children will become fatherless and this, and he's predicting the future. You can't predict a future like this. How do you know that is going to happen? Nobody has any clue. And yet, here is Arjuna telling Shri Krishna that, see, there is going to be a problem tomorrow, I can go to hell, and how will I enjoy this kingdom? Sir, you might be defeated. You know that. You can yourself get cut and get destroyed. How do you know the future? And here he is saying that we do not even know which is preferable to us. So when there is a situation like this, you come to a point, and now imagine going to a restaurant, maybe you are going to a very beautiful restaurant, okay, a Mexican restaurant, let us say. I've gone to a Mexican restaurant, and there you will ask for something which is not there in a Mexican restaurant at all. Okay, I want Hakka noodles, I want Szechuan rice, I want this. Sir, this is a Mexican restaurant. You can't order this kind of stupid things over here. You want that, go to a Chinese restaurant. Here in the middle of the battlefield, this fellow is asking a dilemma. Oh, what am I supposed to order? See, I am giving you a situation which happens to us in our life also. The big menu card comes in front of us, and you are doing an analysis, each and every dish. You know, you go in a restaurant and eat only 4 dishes. You know that, no? You don't know that. And yet you are thinking now, today what will I eat? And finally when it comes to ordering, you will order only those 4 dishes. And maybe by chance you will order the 5th one, and then you will repent all your life. I will never come to this restaurant again because I ordered that thing. See, the whole point of this is we are so uncertain about everything. Because we have already made enough judgments about the future. You know, we are so sure about the future, like, you know, with many a times we take bad decisions because of, but this uncertainty is always going to be there in the lives of every person. And you have to know this. Uncertainty is a part of everybody's life. So here he can't say that I don't know what is preferable, whether this is good or whether this is bad. Without eating, how will you know what is good and bad? Got the point? So you have to go through the situation first to understand whether it is good or bad. And then, should I fight or not fight? You are ready, battle ready. You have worn your armor, you are standing there with your sword and your bow and arrow. And after going through all the preparations, it is like going for a wedding and running away from the wedding. Have you heard of this movie where, you know, Julia Roberts runs away from the wedding? It's exactly like that. This fellow is like that, Julia Roberts. He is gone, dressed up nicely in all the beautiful gown and all that. And in the middle of that, when the ceremony is about to happen, she runs away. Runaway bride. So here he is behaving like a runaway bride. What is this? So he says, should I fight or not fight? Nor do we know whether we shall. Again, how do you know you're going to win or lose also? That is also uncertain. Till you don't play the game, till you don't do something, how will you know? See, many a times we forget that there are only 2 or 3 answers. What are the 2 or 3 answers you know? Okay. What is the best that can happen in our life? What is the worst that can happen? And the third one is, what are the repercussions that can happen? 3 things only. So one thing is you can win. You can win a match. You can lose a match. And the third one is people will put one chappal on your head. You know, they will tease you and the whole newspaper will write bad things about you. There are no 4th options there. And here this person is asking, what are my options? This is like kaun banega crorepati. You know, who is going to be the millionaire? That question. Give me an option. Somebody please tell me. I want to call a friend. There is no calling a friend over here. Friend is standing next to him. Krishna is there right next to him. What is there to call a friend? You are standing in a battlefield. You are dressed up very nicely. You are with a sword and battle axe and everything that is possible. And your bow and arrow, and you are ready for the fight. And here you are saying, no, now I will not do anything. Those very sons of Dhritarashtra killing whom we do not even wish to leave stand in the enemy ranks. We do not even wish to. What do you mean by that? So, they are standing. Again, another situation is when you are in the boxing ring, you know, When you see your own opponent who is such hefty fellow and all that, big army, okay, on the other side of Kauravas, naturally you are going to have cold feet. Oh my God, what am I going to do? When your opponents are this big, then you are going to feel that pinch, isn't it? So here he is saying those words. And this is a situation which Arjuna has got himself into. He really doesn't know the answers. This is our story. We live this story every day of our life. We are the Arjuna of our own life. And we are hoping that the Krishna within us will answer us. Okay, so we have come to the end of verse 6. We will stop over here. Next time we will start from verse 7 onwards.
Recording stopped.